Welcome on the Leaders Who Care 119 episode here, and I'm privileged to welcome a very special guest, a voice coach, someone who has been a professional speaker, best-selling author, TEDx speaker, someone who's actually been helping leaders from across the world, more than 46 countries, 6 continents, a powerful voice. Today, I had the privilege to welcome Cynthia Zhai. Cynthia, thank you so much for joining us on the Leaders Who Care and really a privilege to have you today.
Sure,
Welcome on the podcast.
sure. Thank you, Marianne, for having me.
Well, I'm so intrigued about your profession, and since a lot of the misunderstanding, a lot of the problems, a lot of the issues we have in the world are based on communication and often misunderstanding with people. Would love to hear more about. Well, first of all, what is it a voice coach? What does a voice coach does? And of course, would love to hear how did you decide to embrace a career in as a obviously professional and really operating at global level.
Yes. So, a voice coach, for me, what I do is to help people speak with a more powerful voice so that whenever they speak, they will be heard and they will have an impact. So, I specifically work on the mechanism of the voice, so not the metaphorical voice. And then, for example, for people who speak with a very soft voice, very high pitched voice, or they speak very fast, or their voice just doesn't create this presence, doesn't have this gravitas. So then they'll come to me to help them sound more like a leader. So that's the work that I do. How I ended
That's
up,
super
yes.
interesting. Yeah, keep going.
So how I ended up in doing this was because I needed to work on my own voice. And so I was joining the workforce many years ago. And then I needed to learn how to become more assertive. So, in pursuing to be more assertive, I stumbled upon speaking voice. And then when I worked on my own speaking voice, I realized, wow, it's not only that I sounded more confident, more powerful, but also I felt more powerful. So that's where it planted a seed. But it wasn't until about 14 years ago when I was thinking about starting my own business. So people were asking me about voice. So then I thought, oh, okay, looks like this is something people are looking for. So then that's where it kind of started. And then it has been growing well for the past 14 years.
Oh, so just to understand how that was born by your own necessity in a way, and you got intrigued to solve a problem, and you started to look at how can I help? How can I help others? How can I serve? And so it's a long period that you've been really working in this field. What were the milestones and what were the most difficult challenges you faced in growing and developing a career or your business?
In the beginning, of course, it's people, especially friends, because they have never heard about voice training or coaching. And also, most voice training and coaching, they are for singers. So they haven't heard voice coaching or training for speaking. So then a lot
Mhm.
of friends were saying, "Oh, it's not going to work." So even my mentor said, "Oh, it's not going to work." So then I stopped listening to my mentor because I knew the power of my own voice. I knew what kind of impact it helped me to create. So I truly believed it, and that's why that even though people are saying no, but I just went with it. So that will be the first milestone or the first challenge that I overcame, I would say. And then the other one, of course, so once you start it, is that where do you get constant flow of business? So then that is, so in the beginning, it was through networking, through in even social media. Because one of my first clients back in 20, you see, 14 years ago, one of my first clients was from LinkedIn.
Okay.
Yeah. So then, of course, you get some clients and you started to grow, but then where there was a point that the growth was stopped. So I was very, very frustrated. I thought, the entrepreneurship is not for me. Maybe I should just go back and find another job. So this is where we need coaches and mentors. I was talking to a mentor, and then he said, "Oh, this is the natural growth of business. You go up, and then you hit a plateau. Where you are is the plateau." Then it really dawned on me, oh, okay, it was not that go up and then go down. It was just go up and then plateau. So that was the second stage where I've slowly learned to be okay with business going up, the plateau, maybe sometimes go down and go up again. So it's really to understand and accept the flow of business. So I would say that's the second stage. And then the third milestone would be to really grow. I would say that my book. So once I had the book in 2015, of course, we all know that if you're writing a book, or book is not going to bring you profit, it's more for authority. So
Yes.
I realized once I published the book, even though before publishing the book, I believed that I already was the authority, but the book helped me to really build even more authority. So people really see you as the expert. So that's the next stage, the authority stage, the book. And then the fourth stage, which was surprising, it was the TEDx talk.
Mm.
So for me, getting a TEDx talk, it wasn't a big deal. I always tell people, don't see it as too big. Just go out and apply. You will have a very high chance to get it. But once I got it and I did a TEDx talk, so once people hear that, oh, you did a TEDx talk, you must be an authority. So it also helps you to boost your authority status. Of course, all through the years, you have to develop your own content, your own skills, develop your expertise. So I not only write books, but also I write articles. I post them regularly online, so that people would really see you as the expert. So it's not just one book; it's done and done. No, it's a never-ending process. So I say those will be the four major stages.
Appreciate that. Well, you've worked with many leaders around the world and helped many people in those 14 years. What difference does it make to leaders to truly unleash the power of their own voice?
Ah, so one client, when she came to me, she said, "Oh, whenever I'm leading a meeting or in the meeting, that they don't hear me. They are whatever I said, it was being ignored."
Hmm.
Then, as she started to improve her voice, she realized, now when I say something, they don't question anymore. They just go and do it. I said, "Isn't that good?
Wow.
That's your authority." So then, of course, the other things are that in the meetings, again, in the past, that people didn't hear what she said, even if she said something. But now, if she didn't speak, people would ask her, "Can you say something?" So people are expecting her to have the final say. So that's how much impact the powerful voice can be. These are just two of the examples.
Wow. So I'm very curious here because our audience is leaders from around the world, and especially leaders who care to make an impact, who really a blessing to humanity and go beyond their own interest. And a big part of this is their voice, their communication, how they engage people. Um, if somebody's at the beginning of their journey, let's say the situation that you had, they're not heard, or they talk more than they probably need to, how could they save more energy, be more impactful, like really more precise? So they just need your advice. And let's use this as an example. What would be the stages? So first of all, try to take us through a journey, like, okay, I start with you, this is what I work on you, just so
Yeah.
people can get a
Yes.
closer look, as if we are doing it live
Yeah.
now.
because the reason people are not heard, there are many of them. One, it could be that when they're speaking with a voice like this, the voice is not coming out. They thought it's a soft voice, but it's actually the breath is not coming out. And the breath is not coming out. Or they are speaking with a very soft voice. So just now, it was the voice held inside, is not coming out. There are also
Yes.
soft voice problems. There are also high pitched voice problems. There are also clients who talk too loud. They are also not being heard. So they will go through the similar process. For example, because when the voice is not projected properly, it's not being heard, mostly I would say that what I call you're speaking from here up, the throat
Yes.
area up. Uh, so then this is the voice you will hear, right? So you hear a difference in the voice. And then, of course, in my classes, they'll be saying, wow, Cynthia, is there a switch? There's no switch. So as a voice coach, I can demonstrate you the different voices, but it won't last long. So we need to shift your projection from the so-called the throat, the voice box area to the body. And then to do that, you will need to form three habits. So habits are
Mhm.
not going to be formed in one day or 1 week or even 1 month. So every habit takes about 1.5 to 2.5 months. So that's why it usually takes about 6 months to form the three habits and completely shift your projection from the so-called throat to the body. So the three habits they need to form, they are number one is proper breathing.
Mm.
Proper breathing. And then after that, after proper breathing, they will need to activate the body. So what I call activation stage, activation. Then the third one, once you activate the body, you'll be generating more sound in the body, more vibration. So that's the voice. Voice is vibration. So to do that, we go to the third stage, which is resonance. So these are the three habits they need to form in 6 months in order to have a more powerful voice that whenever you speak, people will just look up and see who is speaking. They will be impacted by you.
Wow. So just to recap on the three habits, the breathing is very important for not only your health and well-being, but also for your voice. We
Yes.
hear now that so breathing from the tummy, not breathing from, or how does what do you say?
So the proper breathing is that you want to remember when you breathe in, the tummy should come out. When you
Yes.
breathe out, the tummy should go in. So that's the proper one. But of course, in order to do the proper one, uh, that is not what we don't call that the belly breathing or abdominal breathing. Is more diaphragmatic breathing. So we use
Yes.
the diaphragm. So we breathe in, diaphragm will go down and out. As a result, you see the tummy come out. So that would be the proper breathing. And in order to do that, you have to go through 3 steps of breathing exercises. Because a lot of people will say that, oh, I'll just practice breathing every day, then it will become a habit. No, because I have clients who are yoga teachers. They practice yoga. If they teach yoga on a daily basis, they practice yoga about every day. But proper breathing is not a habit for them. So they have to learn systematic process to make breathing a habit. So that's what they need to do, the first step.
And what was the second step? The second
So
and third?
uh, so once we are breathing properly, so you see when you breathe in, tummy would move out. So make the chest area open. Uh, So only when proper breathing becomes a habit, then you will need to you can develop the next habit, which is activation, to activate the chest. Uh, so chest is a chamber; it can generate
Mm.
sound. So when proper breathing is a habit, this part, the chest, is more open, and then we also want to make sure it's relaxed. So we do exercises to activate the sound here.
And the third one, the that you
So
mentioned.
once you activate it here, then we can generate more sound. So when there's more sound, your voice quality will be changed. So resonance will change your voice quality, change your pitch, change the thin or fullness of your voice. That's where all the power of the voice will come from. So like the voice I'm speaking with, this is a habit. Well, the voice does not have the activation or resonance will be more like this, right? So it's very thin, a little bit higher pitched. So that's one of the uh, differences it will make.
Well, because we care about the future generations very much, really, and the up and coming, the Gen Z, the teenagers. Probably they don't pay attention too much of their voice at this stage. They're just, really exploring many things. But really, should the future generation take more notice of using their voices? What
Yes,
would be your advice to them, and to start perhaps early?
yes. So you hear a lot of young people out there speaking with a voice like this, right? It sounds very lazy. It sounds that
Yeah.
the voice is squeezing out of the throat. So if they are speaking in this way, then there's a lot of problem. Uh, uh, so the first problem is that because voice is supported by the breath. If you are speaking in this way, then the voice is not supported by the breath. Then you see that the voice quality is terrible.
Yes.
So voice needs to be supported by the breath. But at the same time, breath is our life force. If you're not speaking with your life force, that means you are not really living your life fully, which is the case for a lot of young people, right? So they're not sure where they stand in the society, where is their future, or what the future is like. They are frustrated, they are confused, and all these problems they are reflected in the voice. So people think, oh, voice is just open your mouth and speak. No, so voice reflects a lot of problems inside of us. So that exactly is reflecting the problem of the young people. So they're lost, they're confused. So they need to engage the body, engage the breath to learn how to project their voice properly. When they're able to do that, not only that their voice will improve, their the way they live their life, the way they see themselves will also change. So that's also the reason that a lot of my clients, when they change their voice, shifted the projection, you see that they're glowing. They became happier. So they have their energy shifted. So that's my advice to the young people: learn the proper breath, and proper projection.
Where do they start? Because you said to learn proper breathing is,
Yes,
even yoga teachers sometimes don't have it. So
yes,
really, the how do they, because young people may not be able to afford obviously a
yes.
one-to-one, a proper really attention and voice coach. What what could they do really to actually breathe naturally, properly?
They would we would talk about one breathing exercise. But at the same time, I recommend them to download. I have a three-part free video series. The first one we went in depth on breathing, so they can go there to watch the download the video and then watch the breathing that I demonstrated. But here we'll talk about one breathing exercise they can do. So actually, there are two exercises even before breathing. So before they breathe, they need to relax first. So when the voice is coming from here, there's a lot of tension. Not only just young people, a voice coming from here has tension. So many people have tension. Everyone almost, because tension comes from stress. So whenever we have stress, we have tension. So before you do breathing, you need to relax first. So the exercise I ask my clients to do is very simple. It's too simple that they don't believe it will work. So that's how our human brain works. Sometimes we think that, oh, in order to work, it has to be complicated. No, it's very simple. So you just take a breath in, and then when we breathe out, we're just going to sigh. So it's, ah.
Uh,
So you need to take a breath in and make a big sigh. Ah.
uh,
Yes. So when you're sighing out the tension. So when the tension is going out, then the body is more relaxed, a bit more relaxed. Of course, if you have chronic tension, sighing is not enough. Uh, Then the exercise we're going to do is what I call kung fu breathing. So I'm going to
mhm.
demonstrate what they can do is so they would be, I'll stand sideways. They will be
Yeah.
put one hand on the
Yeah.
stomach area, and the
Yeah.
other hand they can just put it aside. So for me, in order to help you see, I'll put it here. So then, kung fu breathing will push the stomach in like this. Then stomach will come back by itself. One more time, yes. So that's what we're going to do for breathing, kung fu breathing, which is we're going to practice through the mouth. So this is for practice only. This is to retrain how your body, how your diaphragm works. So this is not how you're going to breathe in the future. But with this exercise, it trains your diaphragm, trains your body how to work. So we start from pushing the stomach in, letting the air come out of the mouth, which is exhaling. And then
And
inhale.
then it comes out. I see. So you train it on the. It's more easier to do it that way because
Yes,
the muscles is like the negative. You do the like the negative exercises normally before you do it properly.
yes. So then when you do that, so you push the stomach in, air will come out of the mouth. Then the
Yeah.
inhalation will be natural. So you'll be taking a natural inhalation. So that's why the stomach coming
With
back,
the nose, with the
mouth,
nose or the
both mouth,
mouth.
both in
Okay.
and out through the mouth. So inhalation, we don't control it, just let the stomach come back. So that will be kung fu breathing.
Okay. Oh, and do they get used to this? Like after how long they should practice this?
This
Like
one is actually stage one breathing exercise. So we have
okay.
three stages. So you have to do this one first, do this one for about 2 to 3 weeks, and then make the purpose is to retrain your body and make your stomach movement very flexible. And also that when you inhale, stomach should come out a lot. So that will be the purpose for this exercise. For this exercise, they need to do at least 2 to 3 weeks.
And how do they do it? Like throughout the whole day, or is it just they spend like conscious
So
time?
they will need to do it throughout the day as many times as they can. Each time, it doesn't need to be long. Each time, just about 1 to 2 or even 2 to 3 minutes. So in order to retrain your body, it's not about the duration; it's about the frequency of the practice. So the more frequently you practice, the sooner you'll be able to train your body.
Okay. And when do they know they're ready for the next stage?
So as we mentioned, that one is that they need to feel very relaxed. The stomach movement is very flexible, and
Yes.
then also uh, when they're inhaling, stomach should come out a lot. So that will be that's where they
The
will know.
next,
Yes,
they'll know that this is coming.
yes,
Well, uh, what about for if somebody wants to work with you and they're on the other side of the world? You're in Singapore,
yes,
wonderful. Greetings to everybody in Singapore.
yeah.
Really wonderful country. And we wanted to. What about somebody if he's in the US, in Europe? And they're very normally executives or senior leaders are very busy, but they have exceptional agendas. Time is one of the most precious thing they have. How do you find time and how can you work when the circumstances are just so such that is barely there's time for anything?
So every client will tell me they're busy. So
Yeah.
that's
That's
not
normal.
necessarily a good thing. So everyone is busy, but that's why that I always tell them you don't need to set aside time. Uh, you can incorporate the exercise with activities you already are doing. Like for example, if they're lining up waiting for food, they can practice. If they're driving, they can practice. If they are attending a boring meeting, they can practice. So there are many ways, many opportunities for them to practice. Uh, that's
And
what
what
it.
about do they have to meet with you? Do you do virtual sessions?
Yes.
How do you work
So
normally?
I work with clients from all over the world. So that's why even before COVID, long before COVID, since 2012, already started to do online coaching with clients from different continents. So it's equally effective. So they can for my clients based in other continents, we do it on Zoom. So initially, when we started, it was on Skype, but now, of course, many years later, we use Zoom. So that's how we do the sessions. And also
Wow.
sometimes when I travel, because I travel for speaking opportunities as well. So whenever I travel, I always meet clients who are there.
And normally, if they're considering to work with you, do you have a specific course? Like,
Yes.
how do you, what are the engagement
Um,
terms?
I have to have a course for 14 years. So, yes. So they will need to go through the process with me. Just now we mentioned the three stages. That's the process. So what I call is bar model. Breathing, B, A, activation, R, resonance. It's bar, BAR acronym. And then, so they will need to go through this process. Every 2 months, we'll work on one step. And for each step, there are about 2 to 3 steps. Uh, so those
Yes.
are all the different steps I've developed based on the past clients' progress and see what works the best. So even for some clients, based on their progress, sometimes I may design some new activities. So they will need to go through a very systematic step-by-step process.
This is really thank you for sharing those insights. And wow, what an impact that you're creating, because we believe our mission here and in Dynamics and why leaders who care is because we're very passionate about helping more people to thrive at work.
Mm.
And for us, thriving at work is essential. Well, first of all, the character of the leader, but also the way you can have a great character, but communication is so essential
Yes.
and really important. And do you also work with, apart from the voice itself, of really helping leaders to be more engaging? You know, with how people can
Yes.
listen even more to them apart from the voice.
Yes.
Um,
Because voice is one part. Even in voice, we have two different areas to work on. So just now we mentioned the bar model is to work on your voice quality, your voice texture. Uh, for the voice to be coming from the body that projects more gravitas, more presence for
yes.
leaders. And then the other area we'll work on is voice color. Voice color. Color is the area that refers to the emotions because we use colors to describe emotions. We say, oh, this person is blue, right? He is green. So it's describing different emotions. So we work on different emotions so that when they're speaking, they're not speaking with the monotone. They will speak with a voice that's more engaging, more inspiring because to inspire people, you need to connect with them emotionally. If you're speaking with a monotone, very analytical voice, it doesn't engage them emotionally. So that's the other area about voice we work on, voice color, to make it more engaging, more impactful, more connecting with the audience emotionally. That's the two areas for voice. But then at the same time, a lot of my clients, they came to me, they said, Cynthia, I already have the content. I just need to work on my voice. But I looked at their content and I said, oh, good morning, everyone, blah, blah, blah. If you, no matter how powerful your voice is, how expressive your voice is, good morning, everyone is not going to engage people, make them curious. So I said, we'll need to work on your voice, your speech content. So we work on the speech content, the structure, to structure it in a way that make it more engaging. People want to listen at the same time to have to become more impactful, inspirational. So that's the structure and the content that we work on as well. Actually, on top of those, some of my clients, once they worked on all these areas, they realize, now as a leader, I become more calm. They
Interesting.
felt they,
What are the
yes,
byproducts of
yes,
working with you?
yes, because the voice itself, breathing. So now, because when the voice is coming from the body, it grounds you, it centers you, so that you're not that easily to lose your center. Uh, so a lot,
Shake,
uh,
easily to be off balance.
yes. So then also, for example, some clients said, I want to sound, I'm angry. I want them to know I'm angry, but I don't want to sound out of control. So that's also how voice can help you. You can sound very grounded, by the same time serious. They will still see that you're upset, and then the message is still going to get across. So there are many byproducts of the benefits as well. Being grounded, being calm, centered is one of them.
Wow, Cynthia, this is such a great service to people, and thank you for sharing that. Often we don't think so much in such depthness about the voice and the impact, but this is really a great service to so many people and so many leaders. And if people want to get in touch with you and leaders, whether this is really obviously for the younger generation, maybe some advice videos to watch out, but for leaders who want to work and engage with you, how should they get in touch with you?
Sure. So they can go to my website and my LinkedIn page. So my website is powerfulexecutivevoice.com. Powerfulexecutivevoice.com. And then on LinkedIn, they can just go to LinkedIn and search Cynthia Voice Coach. They should be able to find me. Same for the young generation, they can watch my video on YouTube. So also go to YouTube, search Cynthia Voice Coach. They will find my channel. We have more than 250 videos. Uh, right now, I think it's about 46,000 plus subscribers. So welcome our listeners to become one of them as well.
Wonderful. Well, Cynthia, you've been very helpful giving us, sharing those insights and advice. It's very important for us really to spread the care culture. And one important question for us is what role has care played into your success?
What? Come again? What's the question?
What was the role of care? What role care played in your success?
Uh, so I sometimes say that there's only one type of people that I think a lot all the time, which is my client. So I think about them all the time. Like I read a book, and then when I read a book, I said, "Oh, okay, this will help them uh, to to practice better, to be more relaxed, or to help them with their speech." So whatever I read, I think about them, and then think about how I can help them. Sometimes how I can influence them to be more willing to do the exercises, more convinced to do the exercises. So I'm really thinking about them all the time. Also, my audiences in my speaking engagements. So every time when I read something, if I read a quote that resonates with me, I would remember it. I said, "Oh, okay, I'll use it the next time." So every day, whatever I encounter, I always think about how I can use those to help better my work, better my service to my clients and audiences.
Well, it's when you share that, I smile because that's something very much resonates with me personally. Spending that extra time beyond your time with your client, thinking of
Yes.
them, sincerely taking care of them is really a great way to express your care. And what? How do you take care of you? How do you recharge?
For me, one one is sleep. I think probably in general, I sleep a lot more than many people. So sleep is very important to me. Uh, the other one is also, of course, so I'm not a foodie, but I just make sure that I have enough food. And then the others are like reading books, doing meditation, and also, of course, going into the mountains. So whenever I travel, whenever I'm near any mountain, I will be going there. It really recharges me in very surprising ways. So those are the few different ways that I recharge myself, or rather, I would say it's more ground myself. So grounding is more important to me than having more energy. But when I'm on stage, I have a lot of energy. So I think it's the grounding that gave me that, so that I don't need to charge myself up. I never, before any stage, I never charge myself up, because once I'm grounded, there will be a lot of energy.
That's a very interesting way of explaining that, why the energy is there, being grounded, and have be more wisdom and understanding how to use your power rather than just being let go uncontrollably. Um, if you had no limits today, what is your wish for more brighter or caring future? Imagine you have so much power and influence and unlimited resources. What would you like to see or do for a better world, a more caring world?
Um, I think it's probably, to me, education. It's I would love to have everyone not just get school education, but get education in self improvement related. Self improvement, if people are into spirituality, not religion, spirituality related, then go into those, because we never learn those in schools. Only when we are in the job or in the society, we realize that, oh, we've never learned how to speak better. We've never learned how to communicate with people better. So that's what I would do. Uh,
You're very wise because we live in a world where spirituality is not put as number one, but in fact is number one category before you go to mental prosperity, physical, financial, and relationships. People do them in different order, but if you don't understand the spirituality, you become yeah, it's very difficult. It's more like you're in the dark. You're like trying trial and error continuously, and I think that's really that's my wish as well, to see more people
mm,
actually. What I say for me, spirituality, I look at results. I look at all the different leaders and different um, uh, parts and prophets and religions around the world. And for me personally, that made a profound difference. When I'm most inspired is when I look at the life of Jesus, and he's the greatest care of the world. Is someone to give his life for people who actually crucified him, was one of the greatest care of we ever seen. And to say, I give my blood for their sins. For me, that's like something which is unimaginable, to kind of do. And of course to come back to life and really give us life. It's something which um, he's personally made a profound impact. So thank you for sharing that and bringing it fully aligned with you when it comes down to your vision and spirituality. It's
sure. So as we
certainly
mentioned, yeah. So spirituality doesn't have to be religion, but it's actually in everything we do. Most people think that, oh, it's so woo woo. It's not. For example, for me, whenever I'm on stage in front of any audience, that's my best state. I am in the zone. So a lot of people want to go into the zone. When I'm on stage, I'm in the zone. So how do we learn? How do we train ourselves, improve ourselves spiritually, so that we can be in the zone or be in the flow? So it is closer to our daily life and work than most people think.
fantastic. Cynthia, it's been a real pleasure to have you indeed, and thank you for sharing those insights. Blessing goes to you and your work and your team and your family. Thank you once again for being a leaders who care and making a profound difference. And take care, and we'll be in touch with you.
Thank you.